so it's really hard to open. I thought I'd get all new brushes so I could show everyone like the clean version of my brushes, because my brushes look janky after a couple of uses. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about my absolute favorite drugstore brushes with you that I've used over the years, and some people are so surprised when I'm like, oh yeah, this was a $2 brush from Target. I think there's a big misconception out there that you have to have the best, meaning the highest price makeup and brushes in order to achieve the most flawless look for yourself. And I personally think that it's all about the technique and the application itself. So you can get the same exact results if you were using a drugstore foundation and a drugstore brush as you would spending twice as much on a fancier product. So let's get started on this. There are a few things that I keep in mind when picking out brushes or actually picking them up again. One is how long, obviously how well they distribute the makeup that I'm applying. And two is how much they shed. Shedding is a big factor as to whether or not it is a good brush. So obviously you want it to be nice and soft to feel, so that way when it is against your skin it feels good. But you also want to make sure that it's not shedding like crazy, because then that's just gonna be irritating, one, and two, you're gonna be losing the shape of that brush, which is supposed to be doing its job, like giving you a nice clean finish on your blush or your foundation or your shadow. So another good test is when you're actually washing the brush. If you see a lot of hairs coming out, a lot of bristles coming out, then you know it's probably not worth the investment. And here's another tip. A lot of people think like, oh, it says it's a concealer brush, so I can only use it as a concealer brush. So not true. e.l.f., which is another brand that I love at the drugstore, a lot of times I'll use like the blush brush as a concealer brush. That's something else we can talk about. But if it just says you can only use it for a certain thing, don't listen to that. You can always use it for something else, okay? I want to start with a brand that I think has been around for ages. I just, for some reason, didn't know that they made brushes or never even thought to use them. And that is Wet n Wild. I have noticed that their brand has stepped up their game and their products are getting a lot better makeup-wise. I don't use a lot of their shadows or anything like that, but lip glosses and lip paints, they're pretty good. I actually use a lot of them. Okay, this is a full face powder brush. This is really great because it has a little divot right here, and that tells you as a good marker or indicator where you should be putting your thumb or your finger where you're gonna wanna hold the brush. So you're kind of getting a nice, even application of whatever you're putting on. So this one I love for basically putting on an all over powder, which I don't like to do too much powder per se, like all over my face. I usually just kind of spot treat wherever I want powder. But if it is exceptionally hot outside and I know I'm gonna be sweating a lot, I love just kind of glossing over with a nice big all over brush. This is also a great brush for a light bronzer if you want to do like an all over face bronzer, which I do like to do as well. So this is a fantastic brush for powder or bronzer. And then if you like using these brushes as concealer brushes, this is great. Sometimes I'm kind of straying away from using these as concealer brushes for my actual under eye concealer. I like more kind of tinier brushes like this one from the same line. That is an eyeshadow brush, but I use it as a concealer brush. But what I do like this for is sometimes getting that contour in, you know, like when you use the brush for contour to get those cheekbones going. And then the jawline. So I really do like this for that. And then again, as I mentioned, this is the eyeshadow brush, which I actually have two of these because I use it for my concealer, but I also have another one that I use for my base color of shadow. I usually like to do like a nice light neutral color all over my lid, and then I go over with a darker color on the crease. And what I usually do is I put on the concealer and then I kind of just go in and nicely kind of pat it in and work it in. And that's when I'm kind of using a lot more concealer. I want more full coverage. This is something I'll use, and then I'll go over it with a beauty blender. Beauty blender is one of those that I will not go and try and find a drugstore version of. I have tried, and there are a few out there that really do work, but honestly, Beauty Blender is the best. And these have stood the test of time. They're really soft. I wash them, they go back to their shape, and the best part is They each are $2.99. So literally you're talking about under 10 bucks for all three of these brushes. Now I want to move on to a brand that I really think is highly underrated, and that is the Boots number 7. This brand reminds me a lot of the Makeup Forever brushes. I mean, the way they look, first of all, it's so pretty. I just love that it's nice black matte and then this really nice shiny bronze color, and they're really, really soft to the touch. This is a beautiful, beautiful brush for that nice overall powder look. What I use this for is my bronzer. As I mentioned, I spot powder my face, usually just under my eyes and my T-zone. And then I go back in with a bronzer and I kind of do the perimeter of my face to kind of get a really nice glow. And then I drag that out to my neck. I mean, this is just beautiful. It's a really, really nice brush. And this is under $10. So worth that drop in the bucket. Then this one also from Boots is a concealer brush. I really love this because I have yet to find a concealer brush that's not too small or too big. I've resorted to using like some nice fluffy powder eyeshadow brushes for my concealer because I just like getting more area to cover all at once. But this is a beautiful brush, not only for concealer, but also if you have like those glitter shadows or you have wet shadows that you need to put on your lids. This is, I just love the shape of it. The dome fits really well for my eyelid. And so I really, really like this one. Now this brand is called Studio 35. I thought it was a cute set because of the little packaging and the color. They're so adorable. It has just this little polka dots everywhere, cute brushes. Sucker for packaging. But Studio 35 is a brand I've used before. I think they are sold at Target as well, I'm not sure, but Walgreens is where I picked this up from, and this entire set was $10. I really like their brushes. I will say there are some of their lines that I'm not too into, and I'm like, they're really hard and not soft, and the quality isn't that great. I still prefer these over these ones. These are the number 7 ones, but given the price point, these are pretty darn fantastic. And I'll tell you why I like these brushes. When I'm in the car, I like to have a separate little pouch that I keep with me. So when I need to touch up, I have it there and I can easily go in, do whatever I need to do, and you're set. It does come with some brushes that I really, really like. This nice fluffy brush is perfect for everyday eyeshadow application. I mean, I'm the type of person, I like to go in, do a little swoop, and just kind of get all the color evenly distributed in. I'm not sitting there doing like a nice, you know, cut crease or anything like that. I don't got time for that. But this is perfect for that just nice all over even color. This brush, which is like the crease brush, works really great for either eyebrows or for your liner. This brush, which is originally supposed to be like the detailed lip brush, but I like it when I have like, I like to always kind of smudge out my liner at the bottom. And so if I have liner at my waterline, I'll just take a little bit of shadow, like brown or whatever color I'm wearing, and then I like to go through with that under the eye. So I really love this brush for that. This is a bamboo glow brush, and this is from Better For You, B4Y. I got this from Rite Aid, and what I love to use this for is that it's very dense. So I don't really like to put like my foundation or bronzer or anything because I feel like it's a lot all at once. And if you're not very comfortable with putting on makeup, you're not gonna wanna use this on your face. But I love this, love, love, love. Love this for putting on like glow powder or bronzer on your body, like especially if I'm wearing something where I wanna show off my chest a little bit or my neck. I put this on right here with a little bit of glow powder, highlighter, whatever it is. This is the perfect body brush. You know, body makeup, it's like just not the face anymore. It's like you gotta worry about your legs and your arms and your chest, everything. So I really like this for my body. And this one runs $10 also. All right, so Sonia Kashuk has some awesome makeup brush. And now you have to remember too, a lot of drugstore brands are created by some awesome makeup artists that have been in the industry for years. So she is one of those, and I really love this blush brush. One, again, this contouring, you can kind of hold, it tells you where to hold your hands, and then I just like the dome brush of this. It just feels nice. It kind of gives me that perfect application, not too harsh. It's not too dense, so I'm not getting too much color all at once. I'm totally the gal that will like layer things on versus just putting too much on at once. So love her stuff. Lastly, I want to talk about e.l.f. e.l.f. has got to be one of my favorite drugstore brands, not necessarily for the makeup products. I'm not the hugest fan of some of their pigments. They are getting better. I do like some of their lipsticks again, but their shadows and blushes, they're okay. I'm not like, wow, those are amazing. But some of their brushes, I have to tell you, especially their e.l.f. Studio brand, they've just really stepped up their game, and I'm so impressed. This is my absolute go-to brush. This is the e.l.f. blush brush. Doesn't look like a blush brush to me because it's way too small, and I'm like, what kind of blush? For me, I just need something a little bit bigger. It's wet again because I wanted to clean them for you guys, but that doesn't help anything. The dome shape works perfectly for when I'm applying powder to my under eyes. So this is like my jam. When I'm put my concealer on and I want to set it, I dip it in my powder and then I just put it on, and then I let it sit, and then I take the same brush and I swipe it off, like whatever is left over. It's such a good brush, and I feel like it just gets perfectly into that little corner of your inner eye right there and out. It just works so nicely. And then after I'm done contouring and I just kind of want to blend that in a little bit, I just take that also and just my T-zone. It's just perfect. This is my one brush that I kind of use for the little spot treatment of powder that I want anywhere on my face. So I really love this, and this I believe is $3. Can't get any cheaper than that. Well, you can get cheaper, but you can't get any better than that. Okay, this is the e.l.f. Duo brush. It has the little spoolie for the eyebrows and eyelashes, and then on the other side it has a slanted brush for either eyebrows or for eyeliner. And I like to use this mainly for when I'm trying to get like a nice wing. I like to first do it with some eyeshadow, so I'll use this, and then I'll go over with liner. The best part about these drugstore brushes is you can get more than one, so you kind of have a set. You don't have to constantly wash them in between. This is the e.l.f. Crease Brush. This is, again, one of my everyday brushes that I will use to just put on my neutral shadow. And the reason I have a few different kinds of brushes is because I use different colors. So I'm not just, sometimes I'll be like, I want more of a plum color. One day I want more of a bronzy color. One day I want more of a golden color. So I like having different brushes so I don't constantly have to wash them day in, day out to switch out colors. So this brush is awesome. I have, again, like 3 or 4 of these, and they do run, I think, under $5 again. I'm pretty sure all of the e.l.f. brushes are, I think the most expensive is like $15, and that's because it's part of the studio collection. But these ones that I have are definitely under $5. Okay, and then these white ones are also e.l.f., but they're from like the regular line that I think started whenever e.l.f. started. This is when this line came out. So the black ones are like the higher end, and then these ones are the regular ones. So there's this one right here, which is like a more packed defining brush that I like to use when I'm going right into the crease of my eye and I have like a nice darker color that I want to like kind of get in there. This is what I use to help blend that out, and this brush works great. And I like it because it's small enough so I'm getting just the right amount of product or color onto that eye without going crazy. And then this one, this is like the flat eyeshadow brush, and I love this one for when I'm doing a smoky eye. And a lot of times when I'm just doing my eye makeup naturally, I will just use like one of these brushes and kind of just do the little windshield wiper movement and get it on. But when I want a nice smoky effect, I will go in and pat in the color on the entire lid, and this just gives you that nice application because it's flat and it just kind of helps cover that entire lid. So that is it. Those are my go-to drugstore brushes. I hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial. I know it was a little different because it was explaining brushes rather than showing you guys how I use them. But if you guys want to see how I use these brushes, please do let me know, and I can absolutely do that as well. I just wanted to get out some of my go-to brushes because I know people have been asking like, oh, you use e.l.f. and I didn't know that, and this and that. So I wanted everyone that does watch my channel to see that I absolutely am a big drugstore fan, from makeup to brushes. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!